The wooden door of a small corner shop opens with a soft sound, pushed by the weight of a steady hand. Inside, the air carries the smell of paper bags, tobacco, and fresh bread delivered earlier that morning. Outside, the Sydney sun hangs low, casting long shadows across the pavement. A man steps in, nods briefly to the shopkeeper, reaches into his pocket, and places a single coin on the counter. No words are exchanged. The gesture is enough. It's a routine repeated every day, almost without thought. We are in Sydney, in the year 1971. The city feels open, slower, less crowded. Streets are busy, but not rushed. People walk instead of checking the time. Shops are local, familiar, and most faces are known. Life unfolds at a pace where small moments have room to exist. Australia is still settling into itself, growing without urgency, shaped more by habit than by pressure. $1 Australian, a coin that fits easily in the palm of your hand. It's not something you plan around. It's something you carry without noticing. It's the change from yesterday, the money left on the kitchen table, the amount a child is handed before being sent outside with a simple errand. In 1971, that dollar doesn't feel symbolic. It feels practical. It belongs to everyday life. What if you walked into a milk bar in Sydney with that dollar in your pocket? You could order a full lunch. A meat pie, hot and wrapped in paper, and a bottle of soft drink pulled from the fridge behind the counter. You leaned against the window, watching people pass by, the city moving at its own pace. It wasn't fast food. It wasn't rushed. You ate slowly, knowing you didn't need to hurry anywhere else. That dollar didn't buy indulgence. It bought a proper pause in the middle of the day. What if you wanted to take the bus across the city? With $1, you stepped aboard, dropped the coin into the metal box beside the driver, and took a seat by the window. You could ride from the suburbs into the heart of Sydney, watch neighbourhoods change, streets widen, shops appear and disappear. The ticket didn't feel like a limit. It felt like permission. That dollar bought movement, and movement, quietly, meant independence. What if you walked into a cinema near George Street? $1 was enough to get you inside. You bought your ticket at the counter, tore off the stub, and walked into the dim room where the screen waited. The seats were worn, the carpet faded, but the experience was whole. For the length of the film, nothing else mattered. $1 bought 2 hours of escape from the ordinary. What if you stopped at a grocery shop on your way home? With $1, you filled a small paper bag, bread, milk, maybe a piece of fruit, or a tin of something for later. The shopkeeper counted the coins carefully, handed back the change, and wrapped everything with practiced hands. You walked home knowing dinner would be simple, but it would be there. $1 bought reassurance. What if you stepped into a newsagent? With $1, you bought the daily paper and a magazine, and still had enough left for a chocolate bar or a pack of gum. You carried them under your arm, saving the magazine for later, reading the paper slowly at home. $1 bought small choices, and small choices added comfort to the day. What if you walked into a service station? With $1, you added fuel to the tank. Not a full refill, but enough to get where you needed to go. Enough to keep the car moving without concern. You paid at the counter, exchanged a few words, and drove off without thinking twice. $1 bought continuity. Today, that same dollar does very little. The milk bar lunch costs many times more. Public transport takes several dollars for a single trip. A cinema ticket now demands planning. Groceries require calculation. Fuel barely registers on the meter. The dollar still exists, unchanged in form, but its reach has shrunk quietly around it. Placed side by side, the contrast becomes clear. Not because the number is different, but because what it touches is smaller. In 1971, a working hour could still stretch across the day. You earned, and that earning connected directly to living. Food, movement, small pleasures, all felt within reach. It wasn't something measured carefully. It was simply understood. Today, the same hour disappears faster, absorbed by fewer things, leaving less behind. The work didn't vanish. The distance between effort and everyday life grew. Changes like this don't arrive loudly. They don't announce themselves. They settle in slowly, reshaping habits before anyone notices. A dollar becomes lighter, not because it changes, but because the world around it grows heavier. That simple confidence, The feeling of reaching into your pocket and knowing it would be enough for something tangible, something immediate, slowly faded away. This isn't about longing for the past. It's about noticing how ordinary life shifts over time. Small gestures tell the story better than numbers ever could. A coin on a counter, a paper bag carried home, a ticket torn in half. These moments quietly explain what living once felt like. If you remember that time, or if you've heard stories passed down, share in the comments what $1 meant in your memory. Sometimes it's these small recollections that reveal how much has changed without needing to say it out loud.